Welcome everyone to the Magic Sandwich Show. We've got lots of very exciting news to tell you about this week, and we're going to start straight away with the most exciting news of all. Congratulations to Dr. Don Exodus. Don Exodus, tell us all about it.
Oh yeah, last Sunday I graduated and I got my doctorate in dental surgery, and it was super fun. And then I spent all week long in the Caribbean on St. Croix, and yeah, pretty fucking ridiculous time. I'm actually kind of sad to be back. I loved it. Anyways, all sorts of shenanigans. Continue.
And I think you also found a boyfriend in the Virgin Islands, didn't you?
Yeah, but I was disappointed to find out that he actually had a vagina, and it was a girl in the end. So, but you know,
in the end.
So we're talking about end times. So I hope today we are going to sound a lot better. We did a test run yesterday to see if we can improve the sound quality. Can I just ask people, does it sound better than it normally does?
My mic has completely died.
Your mic's not muted, Aaron.
Ah.
Good. Well, thanks very much to Tony Slutface for sorting the sound out. Now, I've only got one caller lined up. If you want to appear on the show, please send a contact request to Magic Sandwich Show on Skype. Please do not send one unless you want to appear on the show. But I've only got one person lined up. And as I said, we're talking about end times because the end of the world is going to happen next week, according to, I've forgotten his name, Harold, what's his name? Someone help me out here.
Camping.
Yeah. Does anyone know exactly why it is next week and how he's calculated that date?
I can't remember for the life of me. I know that he came up with the same prediction back in 1994, and that he made some excuse backpedaling when it didn't happen then, to the effect that he had neglected some passage out of a different book. That now that when he takes that into account, that it means that it's going to be a week from today.
So basically, a week from today, all the people without senses of humor will be gone from the planet, is what you're telling me.
The rapture is a world without crazy religious people. But
just the fun people. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is why you have to really... Harold Camping is no doubt a biblical scholar. He has spent years studying the Bible. And this is the one thing that annoys me when people talk about religious authority in the same way that you talk about scientific authority, is that you can get multiple people who are biblical scholars all holding mutually exclusive positions, and you can't easily do that in science. But, you know, so how did he get it? Well, he's a biblical scholar, and anyone who's not a biblical scholar has no right to criticize him, right?
Well, it depends on the interpretation you have.
Well, that's the problem with when you're trying to interpret things and make predictions and actually form an opinion about things which aren't empirically based. I mean, there's no way to test these predictions. There's no way to. I mean, they how many times has this been predicted? All by biblical scholars, and they've got a track record of 0%, correct. I mean, so why would you follow that? I mean, you can't test it, you can't verify it, except the fact that they're never right. That's the only
exactly.
That's the only consistent thing, is that they're always wrong 100% of the time.
Yeah, so it's been tested and failed. So I mean, it does have a track record, and a track record is failure.
Yes, I was looking at the Doomsday List a couple of weeks ago. The Doomsday List is the list of all the end-of-world predictions. There have been at least 40 since the year 2000, all of which obviously so far have failed. But prior to the year 2000, there are literally hundreds of them. And I also just looked on a website just before the show started, and there are about 20 end-of-world predictions within the next 5 years. There are another 3 or 4 this year. So they, as you say, they have a track record of total failure. But aren't we going to look stupid if we're all dead on May the 22nd?
No, I think we'll just look dead.
Okay, let's see if we can get the first caller in. I think actually his point is somewhat relevant. So let's bring him in. Yep, go
What's
ahead.
the question?
Yeah, okay.
Squiggly.
My question to you guys is, hold on a sec. Actually, kind of forgot it. What do you expect that the Family Herald Camping's excuse will be when May the 22nd dawns? Because obviously he's going to have something, or else he's just going to look like an idiot. I mean, I've heard about one guy who from Japan who predicted the end of the world. He tried to commit seppuku when it didn't happen, and then he came out with an excuse like, "Oh, I took all the world's sins on my shoulders and bore them," and some weird stuff like that. So
it'll always be the same sort of excuse, like, "Oh, I forgot to carry the one," or "Oh, I forgot to include this passage," like he's used before. So I mean, I don't really see. I mean, he's not going to stand up and admit that he was wrong or anything like that. I mean, he'll never sit here and denounce the possibility of being able to predict when the end of days will be based on a 2,000-year-old book. But I mean, it'll probably just be more of the same old shit. But no accountability, of course. Go ahead. What do you guys think?
Well, that's exactly it. There's no accountability. I've mentioned this before when Pat Robertson declared that the world was going to end during the planetary alignment of 1982. How many little old ladies did he terrify with that bit of news? And then, of course, when it doesn't happen, there's no apology from him. He just goes on and professes the world's going to end some other way.
Is it right that a lot of people in America have actually sold up they've sold all their possessions, their houses, and waiting patiently for next weekend?
I know of some other instances. I mean, I have heard that that people are spending all their life savings and everything because they don't see any purpose in having money for the end of the world. I know of another instance not far from where I live, wherein people had bought up all these pieces of property following their religious leader who was talking about how God was going to appear here, and then when that didn't happen, we're talking about more than 100 families that had poured their life's investment to following this guy, and then it comes to nothing. And again, there's no accountability. Well, go on about your lives. I'm sure it'll happen sometime. Peter Cook did a skit on this on one of those shows like the Secret Policeman's Other Ball or what it was, where they forecast the end of the world. It doesn't happen, and then they say, okay, well, same time tomorrow night. And they go back and do it again.
I have a cousin-in-law who just sold his truck to buy an AR-15, a couple of pounds of ammo, and some of those MRE type things. So he's gonna hide in his he's gonna hide in his basement with the gun ready.
Okay.
Because that's going to do anything for the apocalypse. I mean, unless it's a zombie apocalypse, I think that's going to be rather ineffective.
No, he's convinced that it's actually the NWO is going to finally peel their masks off and reveal their reptilian faces underneath. That's what the Bible's really talking about.
Okay. And in real life, all right, when I was one of the earliest memories that I have when I lived in Alaska, and you might be surprised to find that whack jobs like this live in Alaska. We had met this couple who had a whole bunch of kids, and they were constantly cranking out kids because they needed to bring more souls to the Lord. But while they're producing all these children, they are not doing any home maintenance. Holes in the wall, they leave them there. No, lawn mowed, no, it doesn't get mowed. Why? Because Jesus is coming back any day now. There's no point in doing maintenance. We are talking about around 1964.
There also is, by the way, if I may interject here, a broader point, and that's, I mean, take a look at the environmental repercussions about that. If you look at global warming, if you look at environmentalism and protecting the planet, I mean, the Bible says, what are animals' purpose? I mean, they're here for us. What's the environment's purpose? For us. I mean, and we're all going to be gone. So go ahead, rape, pillage, do what you may. I mean, I remember Michelle Bachmann saying that we don't need an EPA because we have Jesus and he's going to take care of everything. He put us in charge. I mean, and that's sort of, I mean, there are broader ramifications of this sort of mentality, which is the
It worked for the dinosaurs. I don't see why it shouldn't work for us.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy for us. When we overpopulate as much as we can to, as they say, bring more souls unto the Lord, and when we follow Ann Coulter's philosophy of discarding environmentalism as non-biblical so that we have the gas-guzzling SUV with the wet bar, and everyone is consuming and burning as much as possible, as much as they want, when they're going to dominate and subdue the earth. Then what happens when somebody doesn't come to save us from our irresponsible behavior?
I'm actually looking at a picture of Michelle Bachmann quotes. I want to give you the exact one here in a minute, but go ahead. What were you saying?
Some ballpark numbers. A major billboard will cost you about $5,000 for a month. So 2 of those will cost you about $10,000. Do that for 50 states. You're up to $500,000. Do that. 20 for each state. You're up to 5 million. Do that for 5 months. You're up to about 25 million. So, I mean, they've blown serious cash on this. And that's only for like 10 billboards per state. 20 billboards per state for 5 months.
Here's a quote that you would love, actually, while I was looking up the 10 craziest Michelle Bachmann quotes. And I quote, "There are hundreds and hundreds of scientists, many of them holding Nobel prizes, who believe in intelligent design." Sorry, I just found that to be somewhat relevant. But anyways, continue.
Let's go.